Morning, folks. Welcome back to Canada's Boxing Channel. I hope everyone's having a good day. I'm sad to report that it's snowing again. When will this end? Well, it's rare that I find myself watching TalkSport, to be perfectly honest. And it's even rarer that I find myself in absolute full agreement with Simon Jordan. So it's a banner day, I suppose. Where all this comes from is there's been this ongoing feud between Johnny Fisher, his father, who goes by the moniker Big John Fisher, a very apt moniker actually, and I suppose Eddie Hearn, who's the promoter for Johnny Fisher. Those three have been sort of feuding with Gareth A. Davis, a journalist who honestly one struggles to find much sympathy with, and Spencer Oliver, who is of course a TalkSport pundit and retired boxer himself. And this all stems from the use of language by Gareth A. Davis and Spencer Oliver when Dave Allen lost a very controversial split decision to Johnny Fisher at their fight in Riyadh. Both Gareth A. Davis and Spencer Oliver used words like diabolical decision and outrageous. There's only one winner in this fight, and it was Dave Allen. That sort of thing, that sort of hyperbole, that sort of, highly charged language. As Simon Jordan said, they over-egged the pudding. It was language that was probably too strong. But as Simon Jordan says, had they referred to Johnny Fisher as a marvelous fighter, that would have also been over-egging. That would have been also, overly flattering words. And Fisher wouldn't have complained. Well, the fallout from that, commentary at ringside by Gareth A. Davis and Spencer Oliver led to Big John Fisher ranting at Gareth A. Davis about, you're no longer welcome in my house, you call yourself a journalist, people said I shouldn't trust you, you're no good, you don't know anything, you will never be able to come to me for advice again, you'll never darken my door, and all that sort of absolute childish nonsense. To which Gareth A. Davis said, well, I don't need your advice. You go and have your dinner. Let's carry on with the interview. Gareth A. Davis actually reacted professionally. He's a journalist. He's paid to have an opinion, and as is Spencer Oliver. Well, anyhow, what's happened subsequent to that is Johnny Fisher, the fighter, the boxer, appeared in front of TalkSport with his promoter Eddie Hearn, and they repeated the same sort of charged language about how Spencer Oliver shouldn't have said what he said. He's supposed to be a mate. Eddie Hearn was chipping in from the sidelines, throwing a little gasoline on the fire. Of course, that's his job. He's supposed to create this beef. He's supposed to create excitement. He's supposed to sell the rematch. So Eddie Hearn's doing what Eddie Hearn is supposed to do, right? Well, Simon Jordan said that he wished that they would all grow up. He said that he was disappointed in the TalkSport staff who allowed Johnny Fisher and Eddie Hearn to wax on about how bad Gareth A. Davis was. Simon Jordan said he actually doesn't like Gareth A. Davis very much, so it's quite funny. But he's defending him in this instance, as indeed he was defending Spencer Oliver. He said, you guys used, he called it over-egged the pudding. You guys used hyperbolic language. But so what? The Fishers are now behaving in a childish manner. He said, it was also a childish reaction from Hearn. Though, like I said, it's Hearn's job to be, like that, right? Because truly, you're trying to make a silk purse out of a sow's ear. It's not actually a great fight, but you're trying to sell it as being, a beef fight, right? Narrative building crap that if you watch this channel, you know that we kind of see through, right? But it is what it is, And Simon Jordan said that Johnny Fisher you're paid more than you're worth. You're not a great fighter. And I thought that was absolutely spectacular, because Johnny Fisher is not a great fighter. He never will be a great fighter. He will be very, very fortunate if he can win a British heavyweight championship. He is not going to go beyond that. He's a big lump who can punch. He doesn't actually have a lot of skill in the great scheme of things. Like if you were to put Johnny Fisher in with Fabio Wardley, who has just relinquished the British title, Fabio's going to bounce him off the canvas multiple times and give him a proper hiding. If you were to put Johnny Fisher in with any top 10, even by the weird and wonderful standards that the various sanctioning bodies adopt, Johnny Fisher's going to get a beating. You want to put Johnny Fisher in with a hot, upcoming prospect like Moses Atoma. I don't see Johnny Fisher lasting 3 rounds. You're not a great fighter. Wind your neck in. You got a lucky decision against Dave Allen, who also isn't a great fighter and is probably the first to admit he's not a great fighter. You got a lucky decision. It was kind of an even fight, but a 10-8 swings it in Dave Allen's favor. Get over it. You had a lucky break. And now you get a chance to have a rematch, which you're going to be making more money for. Like, really? And as for the father, I've already made comments on other videos about the father, who's a very large man covered with lots of skin. Much of it is very thin. That's all I got to say on that. Anyhow, please like, please share, please subscribe. Let me know your thinking in the comments. Do you agree with me, or do you think I'm out to lunch on this? And I hate to say it, but go and watch TalkSport, because it actually is quite funny. And I don't even subscribe to TalkSport. I find it I'm not a big mainstream kind of media fan, particularly of that type, right? So it's rare for me to be recommending you to go and look at that channel. Anyways, see you on the next video. Have a fabulous day wherever you are. Cheers.